players that are fit the 11 at the moment. They're the ones that are letting us down. It's the Kulus, the Suns, the Basumas, the Bentancurs. Like Perchy said, look at Drăgușin. Bearing in mind, Arian said, this guy's shit. This guy's shit. All of our best wins this season have been when Radu Drăgușin has been playing, right? So none of our better wins this season have been with Van de Ven and Romero. Our better wins have been
hardly had games with Van de Ven and Romero.
But no, Arian, we did have games.
Yeah.
Arian, okay. So at the beginning of the season, when we played Newcastle and Arsenal, Van de Ven and Romero played.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't win them.
Yeah.
We beat Villa with those guys. We beat City with Drăgușin. This is the thing.
Twice.
So it's the revisionism that they're not good. It's just because it suits your injury
It's not
argument.
revisionism. I don't rate Radu Drăgușin.
So then why are all the best games you won this season with him in the team?
He's an inconsistent player who plays well sometimes, but he's shit.
So is
Hang on,
Romero.
hang on. No.
So is Romero.
So is Romero. Ship him off. I think Van de Ven is our best. I said Van de Ven's our best center back for a reason, didn't I?
But don't you? So Arian, this is where I feel like we're going to disagree massively on this because for a change, Radu Drăgușin isn't a bad defender. He's crap in the eyes of everyone because everyone looks at it very tunnel vision wise. Because you've signed a centre half that hasn't got legs and preferably would play in a back three and doesn't want to be playing with his basically running against it, playing so high up the pitch.
That's more to the point. That's more to the point. That's more to
no, but that's my point. What I'm trying to get at. Notice when we had good games with Radu Drăgușin at the back. I thought it was brilliant when we played Man City, and I thought it was brilliant against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Notice tactically how we played differently than we would normally play with them two. What do? We didn't sit on the halfway line and allow us to be cut open like so easily. What you do is you play your centre halves to your best abilities. Basically, you think he's shit. He is in these tactics. If Radu Drăgușin was playing for Nottingham Forest right now, you'd be saying, go and get him in the summer.
No, I wouldn't.
Because Nuno would get him playing in a back line that would allow him to play to his strengths, a bit like Nikola Milenkovic in a similar style. Now, you think he's shit because of the tactics that we play. That's why. Let's be fair with it. That is the reason.
I think here's what I think. I think he could be. I think he'd be better. I do think he would be better in different tactics. I think he's an already shit player who's being made to look even shitter.
He's not. No, Arian. He's not.
Arian, wait a minute, Arian. You don't play for your country on many occasions if you are a shit player.
But also, Lubo, you don't get linked to have a battle with Bayern Munich if you're a shit player.
Eric Dyer signed for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I get that, Arian. But the thing is, what you have to understand, right? And just with Drăgușin, I don't think he's a great player, not at all, right? But he's an old school defender. He's good in the air. He just wants to defend. That's what he wants to do. But the problem is that's not the way Ange plays. It doesn't fit the system and style that he's trying to implement. Yeah,
Lubo, can I ask you a question?
You know what? It screws a lot of our players. That's the thing. It screws a lot of our players.
I agree.
Lubo, you're somebody who's got all the information. Can you tell me the last big game against a top 10 team we won with Van de Ven and Romero playing together at the back? By the way, I'm not saying Van de Ven and Romero. I'm not saying Van de Ven and Romero aren't good. I'm just saying there's this notion. It seems to be this massive notion that without Van de Ven and Romero, the defense falls apart. I don't remember off the top of my head. I don't know if anyone can do this off the top of their head. Who was the last top 10 team we beat with Van de Ven and Romero playing?
Who was the last top 10 team we played with Van de Ven and Romero playing is a better question.
They've only played. They have since the injury against Man City at the end of October. The only time the two guys have played together, I think, was for about 15 minutes. Was at home to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So you're
2-0 up, by the way.
You're going back. You're now going back to at least October. So you're talking about. I mean, October. The only win in October was in the league was West Ham.
Right.
Man United, possibly.
Well, no, Man United are a bottom half team. That's what this is. This is my point. Who was the last good team? Who was the last good team? Even if we have to go back to last season.
There hasn't been this season.
Not this season.
Right. So, but this is my point. Now go back to the back end of last season, guys, where we lost to Newcastle, lost to Chelsea, lost to Man City.
I'm actually going through it now. I'll tell you.
Right. So
here you go. Hang on, I've got it. There you go. The last time, I think someone actually put it in the chat. The last time we won a big game with Van der Ven and Romero was the 10th of March last season when we beat Aston Villa 4-0 away.
So 357 days ago.
More or less. Yeah, nearly.
Sure, but the sample size is completely skewed because we've hardly played with them.
No, but Arian, but the sample size isn't because since that game.
Hold on, wait. Can I ask a question? Would you count Bournemouth as a top 10 team? Because we beat Bournemouth in the beginning of the season 3-1, and Van der Ven and Romero are both playing that game. That was the 29th of September or something like that.
No. That was United. Bournemouth. We played once and we lost 1-0. We're playing them next Saturday.
Oh, sorry, not Bournemouth, Brentford. Sorry, Brentford.
Yeah, we beat Brentford. Are we now considering Brentford a top side? By the way,
Brentford
Savva said top 10.
Brentford are bottom half.
Oh, they're bottom half now. Okay,
right, Brentford. So I'm asking from the top 10. Arian again has said this thing, which is with heart, not head. The sample size is small. Look at the back half of last season and the first 12 games of this season. Look how many games Van der Ven and Romero played together. My point is this: every excuse is when Van der Ven and Romero are back, but that doesn't actually work factually. Because when Van der Ven and Romero are there, all these teams are beating us anyway. So this is what I don't understand. When we're going, look at this injury list. Well, we're losing those games anyway.
And just to sort of dispel this sample size thing is rubbish. Since that Aston Villa game, do you want to know the games that Van der Ven and Romero played and we lost? Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City. Then it was, if we're saying top side, Newcastle again, Arsenal again.
Chelsea,
Brighton, we lost
Chelsea
to,
again,
and Chelsea again. I think that was all of them. I missed them. So this notion that the sample size is small isn't. Statistically, when Van der Ven and Romero play, we don't win big games of football. And by the way, I'm not blaming them, but this notion that all of a sudden Drăgușin is shit because people on Twitter say he is. Like, that's basically what it is. It's because people on Twitter say he's shit. And
who have we beat this season?
Amazing.
Who have we beat this season with Romero Drăgușin in defence?
We've beaten Villa and City.
City twice.
Yeah.
So we beat City twice and Villa with Romero Drăgușin playing in the back four. Is that right?
There was someone else.
So this is what I mean.
Liverpool in the cup, by the way. We beat Drăgușin was in when we beat Liverpool in the cup.
We haven't lost to Arsenal. We haven't lost to Arsenal 3 times in a row since the 80s. And under Ange, we've lost 3 times in a row. And in 2 of those games, Van der Ven and Romero started.
So Arian, do you see what we mean now? Like,
I do.
If you look at all of this information, you know, I keep hearing when Solanke's back. All right, well, Solanke wasn't pulling up trees when he played. You know, when the doggy's back, well, the doggy's not better than Spence. When Bentancur's back, well, Bentancur's been back and we still look awful. When, you know what I mean? When this player's back, when Vicario's back, when this, I don't get it. Like, what are we basing this on? There's no. There's no evidence. You see?
Can I add something to this conversation? Right, yeah. I want to add something to this conversation. Arian, I'm going to back you a little bit here on this one, but not a lot, of course not. But
he loved it.
Well, listen, Arian told me because I've got no coaching experience like Ange. What do I know? Yeah, I knew not to sign Werner, and Ange said, "Yeah, go on then." But anyway, that said, I wasn't wrong, was I? The thing I wanted to say is, I think what's going on at Spurs between fans. Like most of us here, and Arian, you on this particular show, you are the exception. I mean, if Sim was here, you'd have some very strong backup because Sim's deluded as well. I think what it is.
I do ask them still. I do ask everyone who
They'll come one day. I think what it is this. those that don't believe in Ange, it's because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen any form of consistency from this manager, whether it's style of play or making us hard to beat or back-to-back wins. We haven't seen anything to say, yeah, this is the guy. Whereas I think, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, Arian, fans like yourself, Arian, you've seen glimpses that makes you think that it could become something regular, but because we haven't seen regularity, we're not sold. And I don't think we ever will be until that happens. Do you think that's kind of where it's at with Spurs fans? You see glimpses which makes you think, yeah, there's a project here.
What's happening? Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think that's what's going on. I sat back and listened for about 30 minutes, and I think that's where I'm at with it now. I think